This year we had a lot of investments in reliability, and a lot of these were new things we haven't done before. The biggest one was line 106, and we got that completed and in service. We cut the ribbon on September 9th, and the line is adding value to Muscatine as a major path for power in and out of our system. It delivers more flexibility for outages and greater resilience through route diversity, as it's a completely different path in and out of our city. We've been focusing more on outages lately, as the power grid has been stressed with winter storms and capacity shortfalls. From a continuous improvement perspective, one outage event that we drill for is a loss of communications on our substation ring. What happens if we would lose that communication is we have to send crews out to each substation. Then every 20 minutes, they need to write down those readings, call those into the control center. The control center has to answer all those calls, rewrite down that information, and it's very slow moving. And it actually allows room for a lot of errors to happen. Well, using GIS, again, as a solution, they've created dashboards on their tablets. Now the crews can input that data right into the dashboard. It uses a separate communication path, and now all that data appears right in front of our system operations team, so they're aware of what's going on at those substations, and it's just a fantastic improvement. It's almost like having real-time values without having real-time values. Next, we started expanding our scope of incident command and the size of our team. We used to do a lot of this informally, but now when there is an emergency on the grid, we have a formal process where we bring the team together, we evaluate our system, we make sure that we're working closely with MISO, we look at the offers of our units and make sure that they're updated so MISO knows what we can do to support the grid, and we're also working closely with staff to how we're going to make sure we contact our customers and our key accounts. So doing all that together formally puts us in a great position to weather those storms. Next is reliability, and we've hit 5 nines. As far as our availability to serve our customers, this is a target we're always shooting for, 99.999. This isn't the first time we've hit this number. We did it in 2018, 2016, 2010, and 2008. Before that, records were maintained a little differently. So we have a great history of being available to serve our customers' reliability. We also just received our 4th consecutive RP3, which is Reliable Public Power Provider Diamond Award from the American Public Power Association. That's a mouthful. But the Diamond rating is the highest rating that you can get, and that's 4 in a row. The 2022 totals aren't in yet, but when we compare our results up here to the last couple of years, we plan to place in the top 40th in all of these areas, and that's taking into account there's over 700 utilities that participate in these metrics across the country. Last, you may remember that we completed our lower pole wrap installation last year. It was put in place so that we could keep squirrels from getting up the poles and getting on the fiber optics, because they like to chew on that and they were creating some issues for us. Well, a byproduct of that was now they can't get to the electrical as well either. Where we had been having about 19 incidents in a year, we only had 9 squirrel-related outages last year. So it was definitely a step in the right direction. And a big thanks to the communications team and Erica for budgeting and coming up with the idea for that project, because it served both utilities very well. Our West Hill pumping station on Kindler was constructed in 1965, and many of those original electrical components were still in operation. That station is responsible for pumping water up to the tower, which supplies the high side, what we call the high side, which is East Hill and Muscatine. A new motor control center and electric service was needed to improve the reliability. As we took a look at the project, we reviewed to see what else we could do to make improvements. We right-sized the pumps. They were 4,000 gallons per minute, and we dropped those down to 2,500. Those larger pumps created some problems as they would kick on and off, and they could create disruptions on the system and even pockets of discolored water. With the smaller pumps, we're still able to meet our demand at peak, and they do it much more efficiently using less power. This year, the exterior of the pump house and the square reservoir structures just north of them will be addressed. We'll be making the property look nicer, extending the life of those structures, and get the appearance to the level that reflects the MPW brand.
We know reliable internet is just as important to you as reliable power. Since our fiber to the home project completed, we've continued to make network improvements during overnight maintenance windows. Add to that the collaboration with Ryan's T&D group on the lower pole band wraps, and these efforts have resulted in steadily improving reliability stats for our internet, TV, and fixed wireless services. Continued reliability initiatives are planned for 2023 as we, too, pursue 5 nines for comms reliability. In an effort to achieve best-in-class communications system reliability, the communications team replaced the entire backbone infrastructure for the enterprise manned network in 2021 and built redundant network fiber paths to provide seamless failover. In 22, new routing paths were built for each of our enterprise customers. Edge equipment was replaced, and those customers were physically moved to the new network. The newly refreshed hardware platform can provide up to 10 gigabits per second max per connection of dedicated internet bandwidth. We also can provide up to 100 gigabits per second of dedicated bandwidth between local locations and any co-located hardware housed in our efficiently optimized and hardened network operations center. For residential and business class customers on our shared fiber to the home network, upgrades to equipment in our NOC began to increase shared capacity to 10 gigabits download and 10 gigabits upload. Because fiber capacity is nearly limitless and MPW has fiber to every home and business, these upgrades are implemented with minimal additional investment and require no field construction work. Both our MAN and fiber to the home networks are designed to easily scale with bandwidth usage growth, providing a better internet product and enhancing customer experience. As we invest responsibly in reliability for corporate IT, we continue to focus on cybersecurity improvements. We require MFA for all connectivity to our internal and cloud infrastructure. We increased our password length and complexity requirements for domain access, and IT staff audited all elevated access and administrative user accounts to implement a least privileged access model for administrators. Thanks to the work of Brandy's group, educating our employees on cybersecurity and how prone we are to it as a utility, we had pretty easy adoption by our employee body. We improved our backup and recovery solution and with added redundancy, new immutable storage, and increased data retention. We upgraded our endpoint device management platform for all Windows, Android, and iOS devices. And based on equipment and process changes since our last audit, we saw improved results from our 2022 third-party penetration and social engineering test.
MPW has multiple layers in place of security to defend against risks and threats that come with technology. We also have numerous environments to protect that each have their own unique risks and operational requirements. We have a corporate network, the ISP, operations technology like the plant DCS and SCADA systems. We are part of the bulk electric system and have to operate to the national reliability and critical infrastructure protection standards. We use Know Before to address phishing because we know email is the easiest way for a bad guy to get into one of our systems. We're tied in to the industry, national, state, and local levels to maintain situational awareness and be aware of evolving threats and risks. And we participate in incident response training, recovery plan tests, and tabletop exercises to verify our procedures, prepare in case of emergencies, and challenge problem-solving skills with unique challenges that might come up.